We've all become very cognizant of Jack and his story, and when Alibaba went public with the largest ABO in history, we know a lot about him. So I want to talk about his personal story. I want to talk about how many times he tried and failed, and what kept him going. I want to talk about where he is today and how he got here. I'll begin with this question though, Jack. Why are you back at Davos? It's been a long break for 7 years, I think. My last trip where was year 2008, but I was coming for the year 2001 for the Young Global Leader for Tomorrow, and I think I remember I never heard about Davos when I came, but when I came into Switzerland, so many young people demonstrated. It was such a horrible scene, and I asked them, "What are you doing?" They said, "Anti-globalization." And I said, why? Globalization is a great thing. Why people don't like it? And then we came all the way for 2 hours here. There's machine gun. There's people checking us. Oh God, is it a family reason? What is that? But when I tried to draw the Forum of Young Globalization, I was thrilled by so many ideas. For the first 3 to 4 years, I learned what does globalization mean. What does cooperative citizenship mean? What does social responsibility mean? All these new ideas, I saw so many great leaders talking about leadership, and I benefited a lot. In the year 2008 and 9, when the financial crisis came, I thought it's better to go back to work because we can never win the war by talking. So go back, spend 7 years, and I came back. I think it's time to do something in return because I learned so much 12 years ago. So why should not be talking to the young global leaders of today, sharing with them how we've gone through. So that's what the thing. Let's start with where you are today. How big is Alibaba? How many people come every day? How many people come in a week? How fast is it growing? Yeah, we have over 100 million buyers visiting our site, shop on our site every day. And we created 100 million every day. We created 14 million jobs for China directly and indirectly. And we grew from 18 people to 30,000, 30 people in my apartment. So now we have 4 big cameras. Compared to 15 years ago, we were big, but compared to 15 years later, we're still baby. How big will you be 15 years from now? I think 15 years ago, I told my team that 15 years, in the past 15 years, we grew from nothing to this size. And 15 years later, I want people to see and know about Alibaba because it's already everywhere. I want 15 years ago when we talked about what is e-commerce, why small businesses can use this e-commerce and use the internet to do business across the nation. I hope 15 years later, people forget about e-commerce because we think it's like electricity. Nobody thinks it's high tech today. This is something that I don't want 15 years later. We still walk on the street talking about why and how e-commerce can help people. You try to get into the college. Each time they retract. No, I tried. Then an examination that young people, if you want to go to university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times, but I failed a lot. Funny thing, I failed a key primary school test 2 times, and I failed 3 times for the middle school. And you will never believe in Hangzhou, my city, there's only one middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to middle school because our graduates, no middle school accepted us because we were too bad. it will become a middle school. What effect did it have though been rejected? Well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not that good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I think when I graduate from universities and before for 3 years and tried failed to get into university, I applied to jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went to police. They said, no, you're not good. We went to even KFC, when KFC came to China, came to my city, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only guy. And we went for police, 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that never received it. So to me, been turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that when I applied for Harvard, for 10 times rejected. I know I would be rejected. They're sorry now. 10 times you wrote to them to say, I'd like to come to Harvard. Yeah. And then I told myself someday I should go teach there one day. I think that can be arranged. Richard Nixon came to Hangzhou, and after that, tourists flooded the place. That's how you learn English, yeah. I really like I don't know why, at 12, 13 years old, at the time I suddenly fell in love with the language English. There's no place you can learn English at that time. There's no books, English books. So I went to the Hangzhou Hotel, now called Hangzhou Shanji, because that was the hotel that received the foreign visitors. So every morning for 9 years, I showed them around. It's free guy, and they told me English. And I think that changed me. Today, I'm 100% made in China. I've never got one day's training outside China. And when people talk to me and say, Jack, how can you speak English like that? Why do you have to talk like the Western guys? I think that was the 9 years these Christian tourists opened my mind, because everything they told me was so different from the things I learned from the schools and from my parents. So now I have a habit. Whatever I see, whatever I read, I use my mind. Think about doing business. Is that how much you become Jack Ma? Actually, Jack. The name was given by a lady in tennis. She's a tourist. She came here and she said, came to Hangzhou. We become band friends. Mandarin was so difficult to pronounce. And she said, do you have an English name? I said, no. Can you give me an English name? She said, okay. She said, my father is called Jack. My husband is called Jack. What do you think about Jack? I'm say, good. So I've been using that for many years. First visit to 1995. I came here for project helping the local government to build up a highway. And you try the internet. I tried the internet in Seattle. And in a building called US Bank. I don't know whether US Bank is still there, not a building. But it's a building. And my friend opened a small office which is like 10% bigger than this room, and a lot of computers in there. And he said, Jack, this is internet. I asked, what is internet? He said, search whatever you want. At that time, they used Mosaic, very slow. And I said, I don't use it. I don't want to type because computer is so expensive in China. If I destroy it, I cannot pay. He said, just search it. So I searched the first word beer. I don't know why, because it's easy to spell. And I see beers from Germany, beers from USA, beers from Japan. But there's no beer from China. And I said, okay, type the second word China. No data. Nothing. 1995, no data about China. So I talked to my friend, what do I make something about China? So we made a small, very ugly looking page called China. It's about something like a digital translation agency we listed on there. We're so soaking. We launched at 9:40 in the morning. 12:30, I got a phone call from my friend who said, Jack, you got 5 emails. I said, what is email? And he said, these are the things. As he said, people are so excited. Where are you? This is the first time I see Chinese website on that. How can we do something together? So I think this is something interesting. So we should do it. What did you call it, Alibaba? Alibaba? Well, when I started, I think internet is global. We should have a global name and a name that is interesting. Like at the time, the best name was Yahoo. So I've been thinking for many days, and certainly Alibaba is a good name. So I happened to be in San Francisco that day. And I had lunch, and the waitress came. I asked her, "Did you know about Alibaba?" She said, "Yes." I said, "What is Alibaba?" She said, "Open System." Good. So I ran down the street and asked 10, 20 people. They all know about Alibaba and the 40 Thieves and Open Sesame. And I think this is a good name, and it started with A. Whatever you talk about, Alibaba's always on top. You have said before that in creating Alibaba, you had to create trust because people in China were used to face to face. How did you create trust? I think because we started out doing business on the internet. I don't know you, you don't know me. So how can you do things online unless you have trust? So for e-commerce, the most important thing was trust. I think when I first went to the US for raising money, talked to the capitalist, a lot of people say, "Oh, Jack, China do business very closely. How can you do business on the internet?" And I know that without the trust of the system, the credit system, it's impossible to do business. So we, in the past 14 years, everything we do is trying to build up the trust system, the record system. Well, Charlie, I'm so proud today when I took today in China and in the world, people don't trust each other. The government and people and media and everybody thinks, oh, this guy is cheating. But because of e-commerce, we finished 60 million transactions every day. People don't know each other. I don't know you. I send products to you. You don't know me. You wire money to me. And I don't know you. I give a person a packet. I don't know him. He took something to sail across the ocean, across the little river, and this is the trust. We have at least this 60 million trust happening every day. But you created it by creating an escrow account in the beginning. And you to keep the money until they got product and then you release the money. Yeah, that's true. When this idea would love divorce because it was a big decision. Because for 3 years, Alibaba, which is an e-marketplace for information. What did you have? What do I have? Talked a lot of times and other Eddie business because there was no payment. Talked to the banks. No banks want to do it. Banks said, no, this thing will never work. So I don't know what to do. Because if I start to launch a payment system, it's against the financial legal laws. Because you have a license. And if I don't do it, e-commerce won't go nowhere. So then I went to Davos. I listened to the leadership discussion. Leadership is about responsibilities. And after I listened to that panel, I gave a call to my friends. My colleagues in the department said, do it now. Immediately. If something's wrong, the government's not happy about that. If one body has to go to prison, China will go to prison. Because it's so important for China, for the world to be able to trust system. And if you do not do it, I said, do not do it properly, steal money wash, no trust record, I send you to the prison. So all savings, people don't like it. So many people talked to at a time for Alibaba. This is the stupidest idea you have ever got. But I said, I don't need the stupid clever as long as you use it. Now we have 800 million people using this Alibaba. Stupid thinks everybody is better. It is privately held thing. No, let me talk about me. You have never gotten money from Chinese government, no. I wanted at the beginning, later I won't want, because I think if the company or think about picking money from out of government's pockets, that company is rubbish. Think about it. How can you make money from the customer and market and then help customers succeed? No money from Chinese bank, no. At that time I wanted it and now they want to give me, I don't want it. Your relationship with the government, yeah, what's your relationship? I mean, if they didn't, here's what some say. That you have existed in an environment that does not. They have restricted competition for you. And that's a pretty good thing to do for a private company. Yeah. I think the relationship with the government first is very interesting for the first 5 years. Because I've been working at a part-time job for a government organization called Ministry of Foreign Trade, 1997 for 40 months. And I learned that you should never rely on a government organization to do e-commerce. And I started the business. I told my people and team in love with the government, but don't marry them. Respect them. And a lot of people said, well, government officers talking about internet censorship and this, that, and it's horrible. I think it's the opportunity, it's the responsibility talking to them. Tell them how the internet can help. So tell them we created shops. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people debate and fight against them. And the first 12 years, anybody comes to my office, I sit down talking to them how we can keep the economy while trying to improve by the internet. I think because the internet at the time was new to any government. And if you convince somebody and you have the chance, so today I'm very talkative. Probably this is why I talk to so many people. You also see in Hollywood. Yeah. What do you do in Hollywood? Well, I like the Hollywood innovation, the digital. I learned so much about the Hollywood movies, especially the Forrest Gump. You love Forrest Gump. I love it. Why do you like him? Simple? Never give up? People thinking he's dumb, but he knows what he's doing. And I was very depressed the day in the year 2002 or 3 in the States when, no. Earlier than that. I was very depressed when I could not find a way for the internet. And I watched the movie in my friend's home for Forrest Gump. And I told him, said, this is a guy we should learn from. Believe what you believe. Love it, whether people like it, don't like it, be simple and let it work. Like, it's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get, right? Never know I would be here talking to you and talking to Charlie Rose. I never know. But today I made it. I told my people in my apartment 50 years ago, guys, we have to work hard, not for ourselves. If we can be successful, 80% of the young people in China can be successful. We don't have a rich father, powerful uncle. We don't have $1 from bank incentive from government. Just work as a team. So what should you worry about? I worry about today young people. A lot of young people lose hope, lose vision, and start to complain because we also have the same period. Because when I got, it's not a good feeling being rejected by so many people. We're also depressed, but at least later we find that the world has a lot of opportunities. How do you see the world? How you catch the opportunity? So, and Hollywood gave me a lot of inspiration. You're basically out there for business. You're out there because you want to make movies and sell them. I want to make the movies for business ones. We're e-commerce company and we have a lot of products that need logistics. With movie, TV, these are things you don't need a logistic system. And movies are probably the best product that can help Chinese young people to understand. Because one thing I told the Chinese people, my friends, in American movies, all the heroes at the beginning they look like bad guy. Terrible thing come, they become a hero. And finally, they all survived. China, if you're a hero, all the heroes died. Because only dead people become hero. So nobody wants to be the hero. So you want to change the Chinese definition of hero. Yeah, I want to say hero. Today we have so many heroes living in the world. China today, you want the economy slow down. No, I don't worry about it. I think China is doing it. Slowing down is much better than keeping at 9%. China today is the second largest economy in the world. It's impossible to keep 9% of the growth. If China's to keep the 9% of the growth of the economy, there must be something wrong. You will never see the blue sky. You will never see the quality of China should pay attention to the quality of the economy. China should not. So if we have a lot of influence, like Hollywood movies things, we have sparks and these things and the GDP we much be better. So I think just like a human grow, this body cannot grow. Certain times the slow growth of body is slow, but just grow your mind, grow your culture, grow your values, your wisdom. I think China is moving that direction. You saw Modi in India. Did you see Modi in India? Not yet. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, you got to India. Finally, there's that. You're one of the world's richest people. Your company is one of the world's richest companies. What do you want beyond Alibaba? Well, by richest people, I was real not happy. In the past 3 months, when people say Jack Ma is the richest people of China, Global Stability said, "No, I'm not. When I start business, you are. I never thought, yeah, maybe I am now, but I think that 15 years ago, my partner, my wife, was at that time one of the 18 founders. I asked her, do you want your husband to be a rich person? I never said rich person in China, rich person in Hangzhou. Or do you want your husband to be a respected person? She said, of course, respected. Because she never believed, and I don't believe we'd be rich people. We should want to survive. I believe we have $1 million. That's your money. We have $20 million. You still have problems. We worry about inflation, which stock to buy, and this headache comes. We have 1 billion. That's not your money. That's a trust society's given you. They believe you can manage the money, use the money better than the government and the others. So today, I have the resources, do more things. With the money we have, with the influence we have, we should spend more time on the young people. And I would say, someday, I'll go back to teach, to go back to school, spend time with the young people and telling and sharing with them. So the money is not mine. I just carry it happily and having these resources, they want to do a better job. Just tell them your story. Yeah, tell them the story. And tell them that if Jack, I don't think in this world a lot of people have been rejected more than 30 times. The only thing we should never give up, the only thing we like for is Gump. We keep on fighting, we keep on changing ourselves. We don't complain whether we're successful or not successful. I find that when people, when they finish the job, if they made a mistake or they failed, if they always complain to others, this guy will never come back. If the guy only checks himself, yeah, something's wrong with me here, something wrong with me there, this guy has hope. Shall have a hero in this audience and television audience around the world. Thank you for taking your time to be with us. Thank you.